ask for help. But the truth is, you learned the hard way that sometimes the only way out is through. And if that means dragging every demon that's been haunting you into the light, then so be it. Because you're done running, done hiding, done pretending that the battles didn't leave bruises. You're here, scarred but breathing. And that's enough to make every enemy you've got start shaking. You want to know why they can't stand to see you win? Why they flinch every time you get back up? Because your survival exposes their surrender. Your fight makes their excuses look paper thin, makes their comfort zones feel like cages, makes every lie they told themselves to justify quitting crumble into dust. You are living proof that pain isn't an excuse to stay down, that betrayal isn't a reason to stop trusting, that darkness isn't enough to kill the light inside. Every time you refuse to quit, you remind them that they could have fought harder, could have prayed longer, could have risen if they had half your courage. They hate you for that, for reminding them that the only thing standing between them and the life they want is the work they're too lazy to do, the discipline they're too weak to have, the sacrifices they're too selfish to make. That's why they want you to fail, because your success doesn't just expose their lies. It sets fire to them. And you don't even need to say a word. Just keep moving, keep rising, keep making them choke on the silence as they watch you climb higher than they ever dreamed. And let's talk about fear, the kind that keeps you up at night, that makes your hands shake when you try to take a step forward, the kind that whispers all your worst nightmares right when you think you finally outrun them. Fear is a liar, a thief, a coward that hides in the shadows, hoping you'll never turn the light on. It's not a warning sign. It's a test to see if you'll keep moving even when your legs are trembling, if you'll keep believing even when God seems silent, if you'll keep fighting even when you can't see the enemy. Fear only has power if you let it sit in the driver's seat. You can feel it. Everyone does. But you don't bow to it. You don't let it hold the pen to your story. Every time you move despite the fear, every time you take a step forward with knees shaking and heart pounding, you weaken it. You take its power away. And that's what terrifies them. The ones who live their whole lives shackled by what ifs and somedays. The ones who never dare to dream because failing would hurt too much, because the thought of trying and falling short is a nightmare they can't bear. They see you moving forward, see you breaking chains they accepted as part of life, and it makes them furious. They need you to fail, because if you don't, they'll have to face the truth that the chains were never locked to begin with. And let's not forget how they mocked your faith, how they rolled their eyes when you said you were praying, when you said you were trusting God to make a way. They laughed because faith is something they can't understand. Because it's not logical, not predictable, not something you can measure or weigh. They don't get how you can keep believing when nothing seems to change. How you can keep praying when the silence feels endless. How you can keep trusting when every door slams in your face. But what they don't see is what's happening beneath the surface. They don't see the roots growing deeper every time you refuse to quit. Don't see the foundation being built every time you get back up. Don't see the storm that's clearing the way for the breakthrough that's coming. They think faith is weakness, that prayer is a crutch, that trusting God is an excuse not to act. But the truth is, faith is the hardest fight there is. The kind that demands you keep walking in the dark, keep building with bloody hands, keep moving forward, even when every step feels like sinking. Faith doesn't make things easy. It makes them possible. And the fact that you're still standing, still fighting, still believing, despite every reason not to, that's the real miracle. And when the tables finally turn, and they will, don't waste your breath explaining yourself. Don't waste your energy trying to prove to the ones who walked away, the ones who threw stones, the ones who laughed at your pain. Success is the loudest answer you'll ever need. When God elevates you, He makes sure it's in the presence of every enemy who said you'd never make it. That's why the process is taking so long, why the pain has been so deep, why the battles have been so brutal. Because the stage being built for you isn't a small one. It's one that demands every ounce of strength you've earned, every scar you carry, every lesson you've had to learn the hard way. God's not just preparing blessings. He's preparing a table right in front of those who prayed for your downfall. So stop worrying about the timeline. Stop stressing about the delays. Stop questioning if He's still with you. If you were finished, the attacks would have stopped by now. The fact that the battles keep coming is proof that the enemy sees what's ahead. Proof that the promise is too close to quit now. Keep moving. Keep fighting. Keep building, even when it feels pointless. Even when the silence gets deafening. Even when it seems like God's forgotten your name. The darkest battles come right before dawn. The hardest hits come right before the breakthrough. The loudest silence comes right before God speaks. You didn't survive everything you've been through just to stop now. You didn't walk through fire to freeze in the cold. Every tear, every scar, every prayer said with trembling hands has been building towards this moment. They wanted to see you fall, but God's about to lift you higher than they ever dreamed. And when He does, don't look back. Don't explain. Don't justify. Don't seek revenge. Just smile, keep walking, and let them choke on the view as they watch you rise.